Welcome to Life Wisdom with Ed Langan, the place to come for practical and spiritual information to help you as you move along your path, and life wisdom from the guides. Life Wisdom stands for love, inspiration, faith, and empowerment. On this spiritual talk show, we talk about everything from self-love and creating your own reality to quantum physics and what your soul wants you to know. I'm your host, Ed Langan. I am a psychic channel for the Ascended Ones, a life coach, a law of attraction expert, and a spiritual teacher. Other than that, I'm just a regular dude, whatever that might be. I am very excited for lots of reasons today. This is our anniversary show. We started 1 year ago today, so this is our anniversary show, so we're very excited about that. And my friend Sandy Power is here with us. Hi, Sandy. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we're happy that you're here. We are going to have a conversation today with Sandy about some really unique and fascinating modalities, healing modalities that Sandy works with. And we're going to talk about that. Sandy is also going to stick around at the end where we're going to channel some answers for you from the guides, or if you have specific questions for Sandy about any of her modalities. As I said, they're really fascinating. We're going to do that. Before we start, we always say thank you for everybody who's liking and sharing all of our shows here at Star Nations. We really appreciate that. And you're making it easy for other people who are looking for this information to find it. So thank you. We appreciate that very much. There's a lot of really great shows on Star Nations. Feel free to comment. Oh, and Pauline Brown is there. Hello. And she's saying hello to you too, Pauline.
Yeah,
Pauline is across the pond. So hi, Pauline. Nice to see you. We're glad you're here. I also wanted to let you know that the February issue of Star Nations magazine has been published, and I have an article in this one, and it is Be My Own Valentine. And there's a little bit of it right there so that you can see it. We will make sure that we get the information in the comments so that if you want to subscribe to that, you will know how and that you can read that. And there's lots of great articles in there from a lot of the show hosts and other people who write for the magazine. So it's going to be fun. We're excited about that. Let's see if anybody else is in the live stream. And we'll just give them a second or two to jump in and say hello. While we're doing that, I want to remind everybody that once a month, we do a meditation and prayer. And the purpose of the meditation and prayer is for peace, love, harmony, and healing. And it's for 10 minutes. It's from 7 o'clock till 7:10. We just ask that you meditate for 10 minutes and hold that intention. The next one we're going to have is going to be on Monday, February 24th. And here's something interesting that you might not be aware of. I know you're aware of this, but time in the fourth dimension is not linear. So if you can't make it at 7 o'clock Eastern time, but you can meditate within a couple of days of that, you can hold the intention that your energy joins us. So if you can't make it then, but want to join in the energy, and believe us, we would love you to join in the energy. The more positive that we can send into the world, the better. You can do that. All right. Rob is also here. Rob, how are you? We're glad that you're here. And I think that's about it. So I would like to welcome Sandy. Welcome.
Thank you.
I have Sandy's bio here, and I'm just going to show you that real quick. And all this in the front here are all of her certifications. So Sandy does a lot of things. I counted, there's 14 certifications listed here. So you've been busy.
Actually, there's probably more.
There's probably more than that.
Those are the ones that I just posted on the website. I
Okay.
prioritized.
Okay. All right. So there's probably more.
Seeker of knowledge, always.
Yes. Perfect.
Yeah.
Sandy Power has been certified in many modalities. She has 38 years of experience as a neuropsychologist.
Neurophysiologist, sorry.
Oh, thank you. Say that again.
Neurophysiologist. Yes. Sounds like a PhD.
It sure does. Technologicalist and subspecialize in sleep disorder.
Yeah, that's my medical side. That's how I started.
Okay, so that's the medical.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
you went in and so there's hypnotherapy, neurolinguistic programming, master Reiki for Usui,
Tibetan,
okay,
Holy Fire.
Yep.
The whole
Okay. All right. Also integrated energy therapy, so IET.
Yep.
Advanced certification in crystal healing, angel messenger, Akashic records, and soul entrainment. Also has a certification in the new paradigm, MDT, and magnified healing. Okay, I don't know what most of that stuff is, so that's all right.
But that's not the unusual part, more than
right. Yes, that's not the unusual part. We're going to talk about some of the unusual ones. We're going to keep you waiting there. Polly Joe is here. Polly Joe, how are you? Hi, Polly Joe. We're excited that you're here. Excellent. Polly Joe had a great show last night and actually pulled cards for both of us. So thank you for that, Polly Joe. We're glad you're here. Let's just jump in. When did your abilities first show up in your life?
I was always intuitive as a child, but I do remember one distinct memory. I remember, probably about 2-3 years old, running around the house in my little walker and just playing with these, people nowadays would say imaginary friends, but now I know they were
spirit.
God, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
And do you remember any of them, or are they still with you? No. So.
Yeah, but I mean, I will one of these days like to tap into that. But yeah.
Okay.
Because we've been talking about it. I'm like,
yes.
Okay.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. And how did your family react to this?
That's why I kind of closed it down a bit. It was more like they kind of humaned me and said, "Oh, Sadie's playing with." Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't want to know details and stuff. And then I hit my 20s and knew I was supposed to go into the medical field and it's very analytical. So how could you do the intuitive part? And I also married a very analytical husband for the last 35 years. So it's just kind of shut it all down.
Okay. Yeah. So now you just said something there, and that's not a question I was going to ask you, but, but you've piqued my curiosity. You knew you had to go into the medical field. Now, what was that about?
Well, I just knew that I just was intrigued by math and science. They were definitely my forte. I knew that at an early age that I, started off and it was the whole candy striper and the nurse's aide and the whole thing. And I knew it was something to do with helping people. And I just always thought it was because of the science. I knew I wanted it.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
And of course, the world kept saying, "Oh, she's supposed to be a nurse. She's so healing. She helps people." So,
okay. So there was a little bit of peer pressure there, or some pressure. Yeah. So now that's very interesting. I don't know if you know this. I tease Polly Joe all the time about being a rocket scientist. Yeah. Because Polly Joe was very much into math and all of that also. So that's interesting that you're a rocket scientist too. I didn't know that.
Well, not literally, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. Mara is also here. Hi, Mara. How are you? We're glad you're here. Thank you. So that's interesting. Now, you do a whole lot of different modalities. Do you have a favorite?
Every time I learned something new, they became my favorite.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I would say there is no favorite at this point in my life, but the face reading is my go-to because it's so part of my whole life. You walk down the street and you just approach people so differently, knowing information like that. Okay.
So we're gonna tell you some of the modalities now, because this is interesting. Yeah. So energetic face and birthplace reading.
Birthday.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Yep. I can read sometimes.
Yeah.
Energy clearing of your personal energy fields. Multi-dimensional table tipping, tipping sessions. Yeah. Yep. Okay.
And that's what the guys want to call it. So
okay. Yep. That's good.
Change it again.
Yes. Life explorations of your soul's journey sessions and multi-dimensional signature sessions. So those are some of the things that you do. So what happens when someone comes to see you? How do you determine how to work with them?
Sometimes they already have in mind set what they want to do because somebody says I need, to have a Reiki session or something.
Okay.
But sometimes a lot of times I'll have a consult with them.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to approach it because I can tell them more about all the different modalities and just kind of tune in and just read their energy and see where they, what would be the best session.
Mm-hmm.
But working, now that I work out of a center, but now I'm supposed to be going further that I now have to do the website. And because the website, it's now has me, fitting in all these informations and they're all one. So, so even if you come in for a Reiki session, we end up adding sound. We end up, I have a sound table.
Because you do sound. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I also add sound. I also could use like tuning forks. I actually, whatever they want me to do, I just go along with the ride.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you mean the guides, not the client, whatever the guides tell you to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I approach the client letting them know one possibility. There might be sound during it. They might be crystals. They might be some light touch, and I'll demo a few things so that way they're not startled in any response.
Good.
And then I'll just say I go wherever they take me, and it's really interesting where the journey ends up going.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
On your screen there, you can see Sandy's website, which will be active within, about a week, you think? Yeah. So we'll also put her email up there for you so that if you want to get in touch with her, you can email her. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you have a mission? Are you on a mission? Have you sort of, because for a while there I was in business, they're like, you need a mission statement.
That's what threw me off because I always put it in the analytical side. And now that I relax more on the other end and my approach to even the website, just like it's more about, I really like to go deep with people. I really want to get to the root of where their issues are coming from and in a gentle way, and not to tell them what's going on. I want them to have those aha moments and just have that. Yeah.
That's
and just hold the space and just,
Okay.
But having that rapport and trust, they will go deeper and stuff.
Okay. Okay. So your mission then is to help people, is to heal people.
Yes.
But you don't have a specific, like they say in business, you don't have an elevator pitch or anything like that. Okay.
No, I haven't.
Okay. I don't either. Don't tell anybody.
It's just more about like helping you release the blocks that are holding you back. And
exactly.
And from a conscious or subconscious way. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Good. What drives you to do all this? And Mara's saying, wow, I love this. Thank you, Mara. We love it too. So I'll let you answer the question. What drives you to do
Probably
this?
The same thing. There's a mystery. I just love, it just going in and just holding space and just to observe, how simple we are, but yet how deep we are, and just how everything is so connected.
Yes. It's and Pauline Brown. Thank you, Pauline. Yeah. Yes, it is amazing. Just wait till you see what I ask her next. So I have known Sandy for a couple of years, and last Friday we got together to talk about what we were going to talk about on the show today. And we talked about energetic face and birthplace readings for 3 hours. And I said, wow, that's a lot for one show. So we're gonna try to make it a little smaller today. Okay. Yeah. So because we want to get to a couple of your other modalities too. But this is I find this fascinating. So what is energetic face and birthplace readings? What is
that? Am I correct again? It's birth date.
Oh, I keep saying birthplace.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting that I want to keep saying that.
Interesting, yeah. Well, that segues right into the thing, because as soon as I tell people that I do that, they think, because I have to ask their birthday as part of the information, and I use this with everything I do.
Okay.
I mean, I have a conversation with people. They're like, okay, let me figure this out. It's people automatically think it's astrology, it's numerology, it's so that's why they think they need to tell you, here's my birthday, and I was born on June 2nd, and from in Brockton, and no. Yeah, that's based on planets and stars, and since I don't know astrology, I don't want to segue the wrong way.
Okay.
So this system actually started in India. moved to Japan,
Okay.
and eventually moved to China, where this is where it evolved to where it is right now. But
Okay.
it took many years
And
to do that.
This is a really old,
very old system.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So, like years ago, if you went to a physician in China, you would describe your symptoms, but they couldn't touch you, especially a female. So they would look at features of your face and notice, like, just say the eyebrows of your liver, and they would see the correlation. And because they study the science of nature, they realized that there's a life cycle, there's a pattern to everything. So they looked, and the same eyebrow, they would see particular emotional issues or their personality. They would see their life purpose, and hence that was evolved to that. But they also looked at, they believe that everything has a season. So you have the winter, spring, summer, fall.
Okay.
Everything has a season during the day. We have daytime, afternoon, evening, nighttime kind of thing. So,
okay. Yep.
So they always looking at all those patterns, and they realized that on the moment you were born, you kind of were imprinted with the season at that time. So by knowing your birthday, it shows me, what your overall personality is, where your values, where your perception, how you do life in general. It talks about where you go under stress, where you kind of were as an inner child, where your strengths are, where your core issue is.
Okay.
Every decade has a theme and a purpose.
What does that mean?
Every decade.
No, I know. Okay. But you're saying so.
If I looked at somebody's face and I would go through the different decades and.
Okay, can you do that?
Yeah.
All right. So you want to?
Okay. So
is this a good part, or did you?
No. This is fine.
All right.
Yeah.
So
before
I'll be the guinea pig.
Okay.
Okay.
So before the other thing though is every year has a theme and a purpose. There's homework to do each year, and it cycles every 9 years.
Okay.
So there are certain years that you might open a business and it just doesn't work. And you think it's just a bad idea, but it's just the wrong timing.
Interesting.
There's certain years for romance. There's certain years to revalue, your home and family and stuff. So it's different.
Okay.
So on the face, it's different for men than women on certain areas.
Okay.
So the ears are actually childhood and some of the stresses in childhood.
Okay.
So for the women, the right ear starts right as the ear joins the face is conception. And you follow it along to age 6. The right ear is age 7 to age 13.
Interesting.
And men, it's the opposite. So their left ear is conception to age 6, and your right ear is 7 to 13.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So then the hairline is adolescence.
Okay.
The forehead is the 20s.
Okay.
The eyes are 30s.
Okay.
The 40s is the nose.
Okay.
The 50s around the mouth.
Okay.
60s the chin.
Okay.
Okay. 70s is the jaw, but 80s is opposite.
Oh,
so
okay.
it's like
so
the
70,
ears.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So 80s is
the right side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the left. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because I remember you said this to me and you stopped at the 60s and I thought,
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So we actually have a lot of yang and yin decades.
Okay.
So of course, adolescence and your 20s are very yang, very active. Like, okay. You gotta go out there and make something of yourself. You go out in the real world.
Okay.
30s is more the yin. You go inward. You go deep and you process what's going on in life. It is the decade where you start to reevaluate where life has gone so far.
Okay.
It's that would be the decade you would go and have, life coach and counsels and stuff, because you really want to process this deep emotion going on inside. Okay. 40s is a powerful decade in a sense for most people, because it's
the nose.
The nose, yeah.
Okay.
And it's about going out there and I want the real job. It's about being authentic. So it's not just you have a job, but you want that real job, the real relationship and stuff.
Okay.
The 50s is about another inward. It's like, this is not the life I signed up for.
Okay.
We're evaluated.
Surprise.
Yep. But it's all about finding a way to nurture yourself, finding a way to not just nurture with food. It's about what nurtures your soul.
Interesting. Okay.
And if you're not getting nourishment from other people, it's when you need to do a lot more of the self-care and stuff.
Right.
60s, according to Chinese medicine, is the most powerful decade there is, because it's like almost like, for them, it's all one full life cycle.
Okay.
So it's another it's more like you're thinking about retiring, you're starting to downsize everything, things like that.
Okay. So you need a big chin, huh?
Yeah, so you never look at a chin from the front. Some people you can see it. You always look at certain features from the side.
All right. So
So
which way do you want?
Yeah. So the forehead, you really want to see how prominent it is, and the same thing with the nose and the chin, and it also shows the ears.
Okay.
You never look at them from the front because it can be deceiving and stuff. And I love your forehead because right at the top of your forehead, she has a little curve right at the edge here, and that automatically tells me how intuitive you are. There's a lot of other features that tell me that too.
Okay.
So when I look at a face, there can be looking at the three things you look at. You have potential for three things. You can have one, or you can have all three.
Right.
It shows me physically what is going on. Like this is your spine. This is the nerves around the spine.
Oh, interesting.
This is your heart. So that's the physical.
Huh.
It's also showing me the emotion of being authentic.
Okay.
Is one of the things. It's also about the decade of the 40s.
Okay.
So each feature has three components to it. And if I describe the decades, and it sounds like so simple. It's like this, and this. Because we now not only add the features of the face, but we also add the decade you're in. We also add the birthday in. So it really, even if somebody's born on the exact same day, our faces don't look the same.
Correct.
So, I mean, even when you have twins, even though they're identical, just say they're identical twins, you have a yin and a yang. Wow. One's an extrovert, one's an introvert. If you were taking pictures of a twins and you give them the option, just where to stand, the yang twin will always be on the right-hand side.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah. And somebody once said, what if you have triplets? Huh. Then you have yin, yang, and the other twin feels like they're from outer space. They don't fit in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Good thing I'm not a triplet. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
And we have never talked about what you just talked about before. And as I said, last Friday, we talked for 3 hours about this, and this is all brand new for me. So it's just so fascinating. And it makes sense that where the Chinese doctors aren't allowed to touch anybody, that they would need to find another way to figure that out. So that's just so interesting to me. And I know you said there's lots of other things to it. Now, what is about the birth date? So you've talked about the numbers part of this too. Is that something that we can talk about, or is that confusing?
It's confusing, but it's basically that you mentioned numbers. A lot of times people that are talking to me for a while, I end up saying things about the numbers and stuff. Right. It's just a shorthand for the information I'm looking at. That's
okay. So it's something to help you with that. Okay.
Yeah. But what's really fascinating is when people find out that I do this, they often think it's some sort of, it's very judgy. You're judging somebody by their features, and it's actually, it brings so much understanding and awareness that if you have awareness to your own stuff, you just seeing where the lessons go, and they evolve much quicker and stuff.
Right.
So just even watching the TV, it's incredible. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Just sitting there at the airport waiting for the plane to take off, and just watching people in there. In everything about them, it's the face reading, and that I can see. Birthdays you have to ask. Right. But just even the way they talk, it actually gives me an idea of some of their filters, the words they use, the clothes they wear, the way they walk, the way that it's amazing. Right.
Hi, Christy. We see you. We're glad you're here.
Yep.
So when you're looking at somebody's face, you're looking from a place of curiosity.
Yes, always.
So you're not going, look at that dude, he's funny looking. You're going, wow, that's really interesting. His nose is representing whatever or something, right? So that's not, I can see how that would not be judgy at all, but I could see how someone might misunderstand that. Yeah. So that's it. But that, and that goes back to the science about the curiosity. So interesting. Very, very interesting.
What's really cool, especially on TV, is the left side of your face. So let's start with the right. The right side of the face, where most people, you're going to now look at people and go, we naturally look at somebody's right side.
Interesting.
The right side is the public side. It's where you show your emotions are to
Right.
yeah.
Right.
So when you look at TV and you see that one, just one part of the face looks different than the other. We don't have a symmetrical face.
Correct. Yes.
But
yeah, I learned that in art school.
Yeah. We don't have a symmetrical anything. But they're perceiving, what they're somebody like, I think there was some politician, I hate watching TV.
Okay.
But my patents definitely are not somebody should watch TV. But when I do, because I'm curious.
Well, there's good stuff on TV, like our show and Polly Joe's show and Neshie's show. So there's some good stuff.
Yeah. So when you looked at this gentleman talking, I was on closed caption, so thank goodness I wasn't really listening.
Right.
But just watching his face alone, he was talking that as if he was very open to communicate with people.
Right.
The way he was holding his eyebrows was showing the audience that he's is very driven, very good logical mind, and yet his private side was telling a different story. He was closing his eye, which means he's less open to communication, and his eyebrows were going up, which was showing that he makes decision on reaction. And not logic. So the left side actually is the true side.
Interesting. Yeah. And when we would look at people, we would try to look at the left side of their face to see if they were actually smiling or not, because one side of your face will smile more naturally than the other.
Yep.
So that's fascinating. And again, I learned that in art school. Mm-hmm. Now, you and I have talked about this because this gets confusing. I did a video the other day, and I had the camera in selfie mode. And I held up a piece of paper and it was backwards.
Yep.
And then, so I said to the people, I'm really sorry, it's backwards. And then when I saw the video, it was the right way. So it wasn't backwards. So it gets confusing. So you have to find out if you're looking at so right now for us, as we're watching this screen, it's backwards for us, which is confusing.
Yep.
So you also have to find out, because you could potentially mix up which side of the face is which if it's in backwards.
Yeah, so I can do sessions in person, and then there's no question. But there people don't live here or don't live near me that you can actually do it remotely.
Okay.
And it's really difficult because if you take a picture, there can be a lot of shadows and stuff. So they really have to make sure it's in focus. You merely make sure we don't care about what's around us. It's more about this.
Right. Okay.
And you actually have to read a face in neutral. Not actually with smiling, because because that's where we find out if it's really the emotions or lessons have been imprinted on the face. It's not what happens to us, it's how we feel about what happens to us.
Right. Yeah.
So when you see there's not a lot of wrinkles or lines, you think, they had an easy life, but actually they weren't. One of the reasons it would because they it's just. I'm hesitating because there's so much depth to this, because I'm like, I'm trying to basic. Yeah.
Just give a tidbit.
Yeah.
There, a little bit.
I forgot where I was going with that. So.
What pictures? So
when somebody sends me in a picture, I now, because of the whole selfie thing, and people are doing a real good job of it.
Right.
That I need to have to ask one of the questions is, was this self-portrait, or did somebody take it?
Right.
Because it switches the sides.
Yeah, so it's not, Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is when we look at the screen here, it's backwards. and so it's very disconcerting.
Especially when I'm always looking at faces. I'm like, wow.
Right. Yes. You see yourself backwards.
Yeah.
So for anybody who's watching, if you don't live within New England, because obviously Sandy is here in New England with me, so she's lives nearby, you can contact her through her website and potentially send her pictures. There's her email there. And you can also have sessions that way. I also know you do distance healings too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So part of the work that I do from this modality, there's a system that I do energy clearing, and I've learned many different energy clearings over the years and stuff, but it is the coolest thing I've ever came across. Basically, I tune into somebody's energy and I sense what's stuck, stagnant, and just help your system just to release it. And I do that
Yes, and you've done that for me, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
that. Thank you.
Really very interesting stuff where it goes. Because it's not just I can heal somebody in the present moment. I actually can past life stuff can come up. Past childhood
Okay.
stuff can come up.
Okay.
I also do ancestral lineage clearing, and
Good. That's right.
yeah,
That's the next question. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that.
yeah. So what it is sometimes we have a lesson in this lifetime. We think it's ours.
Okay.
And it actually was inherited through the line. So when I do that, I do a personal energy clearing like on you.
Right.
I then follow the line up to your mother's side and do your
Okay.
mother, and then your mother's mother and father.
Interesting.
And then I go to your mother's mother's mother, and so on, and
Right.
then the father's side and stuff, depending on where it tells us where to go.
Hi, Maureen.
Yeah.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Now, I talk about that a lot in my sessions also, whether I'm coaching or doing readings or whatever I'm working on, is if you have trouble with self-esteem, your parents have trouble with self-esteem, your grandparents have trouble with self-esteem, your great-grandparents have trouble with self-esteem, because none of them can teach you something that they don't have. So this is the same type of thing. So
Yeah.
it's but
Really
you can
cool.
go back in and clear the lineage.
Yeah,
So
really
that's
cool.
That's fascinating. Can you give us a brief description of how you do that, or is it
The
different?
same as I tune into your energy. I will tune into somebody, even if they're passed on. I still can tune into their energy.
Okay, because the spirit, because you still feel the energy. Okay,
Yeah,
and do you use special tools? Do you know?
No, it's just my system processing. But I actually hold on to a pendulum.
Okay.
It's just because it's a focal point. It gives me yes, no answers.
Okay.
It lets me know. Actually, I would clear 6 fields,
Okay.
and it lets me know when that energy's done. But your system just learns to clear all the time. So I mean, one of the ways my system likes to process is I do burp and belch.
Okay.
And I tell people ahead of time it wasn't lunch. It's just that kind of thing.
Yep.
So it's amazing though is. I can walk into a room and I just naturally start burping and belching, or I can feel, my system just shift a little bit. So
your stomach is growling. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Valerie's here. Hi, Valerie. How are you? We're glad you're here. That's interesting, and I have other friends who also do the burping. And the first time I heard that, I was like, that's kind of weird. I was like, well, they're having beers without me. They didn't say, Ed, come have a beer. I'm like, wow, but okay, so that makes sense because it's the excess energy that's being released, and that makes sense that it would, and that's a sort of a not harmful way for it to come out, So, and
it's interesting. My teacher that I learned the system from California, they do a lot of yawning and coughing and stuff. I do that, but she just said people from Massachusetts burp and belch. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I do. The last 5 years I've been doing that.
That's funny. That's funny because my other friend who does that is from Massachusetts.
Yep.
Not originally though. She's originally from New York.
Ah.
And she knows who she is. I'm not going to give her up here. Okay, so that's the ancestral lineage lineage clearing. Okay, I was trying to think if there was something else. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use me as the example. You have told me that this is now. I don't know if you guys can see this.
It's very faint, so I'm not sure you're gonna see it. Yeah.
Okay, there's a little line right here above my nose that goes straight up.
Yep.
And you've told me about that, so I'm just curious if you
it's great to show exampals to people, but sometimes it's hard to see it on the videos. That's why I wasn't sure about doing that.
So I had a card stuck to my forehead before the video. No, we're kidding.
No, there are certain features that like I said, they could potentially be physical, emotional, that kind of stuff. But there are certain features that stand right out. There's no question where it bases it from. So there are extremes to these patterns. So sometimes I'll explain certain things to people, and they have to, eventually the more we talk, we find that version in their story.
Okay.
But the line that Ed's talking about is it's most people know these little lines that go here. They call them thinker's lines, because most people grimace their forehead and they're really concentrated. They're very driven people that tend to have those. Okay. Because they're really trying to make a decision and try to work through the details. But we're talking about it has to be right in the middle.
Yep. And with me, it is right in the middle there. Yeah.
And There are different versions of that. There's a light line, or it tends to be deep. They're called a hanging blade is the deep line. A hanging needle is what Ed has.
Okay.
So there's an imprint with your. It was made an imprint, but it's not a deep imprint.
Okay.
It is. It tells people that either father was physically absent, emotionally absent, or tends to be issues with volatile dad.
Okay.
This is an area where mom has not one job, but
right,
yeah, they look at the face, right? But yeah, when we look at a face, there we see that there's mother's influence, and I'll backtrack to that because I brought it up. But this area right here is father's blessing. It's where father was supposed to give you your power.
Okay.
So you look at the generation now, there actually is not a lot of thing. It looks like a quarter that's on the right, almost the third. It's the third eye kind of area. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like having an extra padding there. That means father gave you his power.
Right.
Very proud of you. Very, help you with your accomplishments, your goals, kind of thing. So it doesn't mean that we don't have it. We're not going to gain our power. We just gain it ourselves.
I see. Okay.
And just having that line there, again, it just shows that.
Okay. Interesting.
So you're more apt to always find your power that way. Yeah.
Good. I want to talk about that. Valerie, I see there's a comment from you up on the screen there. I'm going to read it in just 1 second. I just want to. So we'll get to you in a second, Valerie. Okay.
Yep.
And I saw Mara put a comment too. We'll look at those in a second. Just so to be clear, my dad busted his butt for us when we were kids.
Yep.
My dad is a retired New York City police officer. A lot of you guys know that. And I had 3 brothers and a sister, and my mismatched grandparents lived with us. So we had a crazy house.
Wow.
But dad was always working.
Yep.
Dad had 3 jobs. He worked as a police officer. He did some security thing. So dad was always working. And yeah, he
I belched.
Okay, good. So clear some of that. Dad busted his butt for us. So that's interesting because I know he loves me. I know he approves of me. But but when I was a kid, I didn't.
It's not about how close you are to them. It's not how you get along. It's more about how that emotion influenced you. Yeah.
Yes.
So you knew you had to do it yourself. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll get back to the mother thing in a second. I just want to read a couple of these comments here. Mara is saying that she definitely will contact you. So excellent. She wants to talk to you about twin flames. Valerie says, now that my hair is shorter, my ears are showing. Should I have you read my face again? Although I was impressed with the last reading for certain, Sandy. Oh, so you've already read Valerie.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Yep.
All right. Kim is saying very interesting. I agree, Kim. It is. Valerie is saying my father passed away when I was 12. Would that somehow show in that area? Interesting. And Rob is saying that he couldn't stop learning from playing the guitar. So cool. Interesting. So Valerie's question about her father passing away at 12, would that show somewhere in her face? Would that?
You have to figure out where the emotion's coming from. So if we were just talking about father being absent, so there could be a line there, and that just shows that dad wasn't able to give you your power because he was absent.
Right. Okay.
But it could be shown from grief and loss. It could be shown, and those are different areas all over the face.
Okay, so it would have to be a whole. It's not that's what's so hard about this. It's reading the whole thing. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Did you want to say something about mother?
Oh, so mother's job, dad's job was to actually give you your power.
Okay.
Mother's job is to help you influence. Influence, and you're an adolescent and you're trying to teach you manners and try to how you get along with people. That's how you're going to excel in the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's
the hairline.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So my hairline used to be way down.
And that's what I would have to see, seeing your hairline as a child.
I showed you the picture when I was 19. I had plenty of hair.
Yeah.
I had good hair. I had rock and roll hair. Yep. You guys see the guitar in the background. Yeah, I had rock and roll hair. So, yes, that's good. So, Mom did a good job. Excellent. Yep. Valerie is saying thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Cool. We have a few minutes before we start taking questions and get to the guides. Mara's writing, this really makes sense, as I wrote something similar about it in a chapter in her book. It resonates about ancestral patterns. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Cool.
Excellent. What is multi-dimensional tipping sessions?
That name is still being tweaked.
Okay.
It's whatever they keep changing it.
Yeah.
So I never thought I would. Basically, it's table tipping, and I never thought I would ever do table tipping because of that whole growing up, that generation of like Ouija board. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the guides brought me to the certain people that I ended up having a great session, and it eventually progressed.
Okay.
So now that when I work on it. My background's all from healing, not just the medical, but just all my modalities, my teachers, my mentors, all about healing.
Yes, I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second. Because if someone says to me, what is Sandy? I say to her, Sandy's a healer. So absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So during a session, table tipping is where the table actually, it's an interactive form of physical mediumship.
Okay.
So the table actually will give you yes, no answers.
Okay.
It will give you, it spells out the alphabet. So it gives you messages that way.
Okay.
But when I do the sessions, a lot of times because of the hypnotherapy background, it's how it actually, and again, it's all through all my modalities. I use that in the sense, even though you're not under hypnosis, it's about how you word things. It's about, when you do table, I have you reframe it so you get a more direct answer.
Yes.
It's about asking the certain questions, and the table actually will bring you to, the people that can fully answer the question. Your family will come through, your pets come through, and suddenly your guide comes through, and suddenly an ancestor, ascended master comes through, suddenly a being comes through. And that's why I was using the word multidimensionals, because there's this higher vibration really coming through the table a lot.
Right. So
you get downloaded, you get healing, you get we even go through past life stuff depending on where
so you actually use it as a tool of divination.
Yeah.
So it's not old school mediumship.
No.
At all.
No.
Okay. And I know this because I've done it, and maybe Sandy will tell you what happens when I'm on the table with her. But you could what comes through.
Yeah. Yeah. So I love doing private sessions because we can go really deep with that and get in more information. And he had a huge team come through with all the books he's going to be writing, and the traveling and stuff. And I love doing this work just because I love holding the energy and being in that space, because it's such an honor to not sit with you, but it was the feeling. I get a healing, and I get that the essence from the message. It was just such a high vibration. Yes. And it was it was a while ago. So it was like team of 5 or 6. I think it was 6.
There was one, the first was a group of 8. And then the second time we did it, it was something from the 12th dimension, which kind of freaked you out because you hadn't connected with anything like that before.
Not on the table.
Not on the table.
Yeah. But of course, you just opened that door.
I'm here for you. So that's interesting, and it's a tool of divination. It's not not traditional old school mediumship, which brings me to my next question.
I know where you're going.
You know what it is. You know what it is, right? Because she's reading my mind. So, right. Guess what I'm going to ask her, guys? I'm going to ask her, are you a medium?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself a medium?
And I consider it's really funny. I consider myself not to be a medium. I have mediumship abilities, but I get downloads. It's a very intuitive hit. It's empathic.
And we're back.
Hey.
Okay. All right. That was interesting. We're back. Here we
I guess they didn't like the word I'm not a medium. Okay.
Right. No. That's funny.
So depending on the definition of what people consider medium, people connect with loved ones in spirit and things.
Right.
And the reason I've worked in that vibration, but it doesn't seem like it's a mediumship. I just feel like it's more downloaded and intuitive.
Right. Right. And I have friends who are mediums, and they're really good at it. And when people come to me, I say, I'm not a medium. I'm a large, haha. And I love that. And I say that I have,
Yeah.
I have plenty of friends who will do that. My work is about guidance and wisdom and helping people move forward on their path. Your work is about healing and about shifting their energy, which also helps them move forward along their path.
Well, yeah, and it's also about that you come with this beautiful inner design, and that's how I can see it on the face. But I love just when you tune in to the table or of my other sessions. It's really
perfect.
Or good. Energy play. Yes,
good. Yeah. So I'm looking up, and it's 444.
I love it. Favorite number. No, 333 is my number. Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. And there's probably some questions. I just you and I could talk about this for forever, and we barely scratched the surface. Sandy's information has been up the whole time. Her email is there. Her website is not quite ready yet. She's still tweaking it. We'll give her another week, but you can contact her through email if you want to get together and have sessions with her and have her do work for you. Yep. And for our friends who are across the pond or elsewhere in the United States, you can also work remotely. They can send you pictures to do face readings and stuff like that. So I make sure that that's all there for them. Was there anything that you needed to add to sort of wrap that up, or do you feel like we did a pretty good job?
Oh, we did a pretty good job. I'm just going to briefly mention, though, like you talked about the life exploration. My guides changed the name on that one because most people know it as past life regression. They don't like the word of regression because time doesn't exist anymore. Correct. So it's about, we can go future, past, parallel lives, in between lives. Spirit realm, and it's just whatever for your highest and best.
Okay.
Basically, it's deep hypnosis session, and then you just go explore, and it's amazing. And we end up having a lot of healing with that. My soul session is more about connecting with you on a soul level, and just there's a lot of different modalities that just get added in, and it's not a la carte. We don't like signs that let's do this, this, and this.
Right.
It's more about as we start, we tune in and where they
whatever they need, they get.
Yeah.
So cool. And that's kind of, the people come and say, well, what are the guides going to do? And the guides are going to do whatever they want. We're just here.
They always surprise me. I'm like, you want me to do what?
Yeah. So fascinating, interesting. We could I'm sure we could talk for a whole lot longer about all this. I find it really interesting and fascinating. And, I'm going to put you on the spot right now. Will you come back and be on the show again?
Sure.
There you go. So, right, this wasn't so bad, right? This was good.
Yeah.
Now you're in a year. You're in a year where you need to come out and to be,
So my patterns about my face and my birthday really talk about being that helper, being on the sidelines, being the support system. Definitely not up the front.
Right.
But for, like I said, every year has a theme and a purpose, and this is about being in the spotlight and getting out there, laughter, fun, and I always have laughter and talk to you, but it's just
right. And you have friends who are out there in the spotlight who are going to drag you out with us. So excellent.
Yep.
All right. So let's just we're going to bring in the guides in a second here, and I just want to read this for you real quick so that and there's a question from Maureen. We'll get to her in one second. The guides can be very direct and sometimes blunt. Speaking about my own guides here, they always come from a place of love. The more focused and the more powerful the question, the more focused and the powerful the answer. Sometimes my voice changes. You always have free will. They are not going to take away your free will. The guides are going to give you what you need, not necessarily what you want, which is what we were just talking about, that the guides come in and it's their show. The other thing I want to remind you is you can always send questions in to me ahead of time, and we will ask them on the show. We didn't have any sent in ahead of time this week, but it looks like there's plenty of questions here. And as per usual, Marge is doing an amazing job flying the plane and keeping the questions there.
Yep.
So we're going to start with Maureen. Are you ready? Do you need a second to we're both going to do it together, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you need to call him in. Are you good? I just scare you. See the look on her face there?
My reading glasses. I'm blind. I can't see.
Oh yeah. No, I'll read the question. All right. So Maureen Mann is asking us, I would love to know what the guides would like me to know right now, please. Okay. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Okay. I'm just like,
well, all right. Okay. So it'll come. So Maureen, the thing that I'm getting is right now, the energy is very much high tide, and there's a lot of new stuff coming in and coming through as we're moving through the full moon and into this session here. And I'm getting similar messages, and I'm not crazy about them, but I'm understanding. And right now, they need you to relax a little bit.
Okay.
They need you to calm a little bit. They're showing me that Sandy was talking about the lines of determination on you're sort of ruffling your brow, and they want you to just chill a little bit and just relax. Okay. Now you work with the angels. Turn it over to your favorite ones, probably Michael and Gabriel. We're not sure if they're your favorites, but turn them over to them and just relax a little bit. Everything is fine. Everything is still right on track. Everything is still working out. Just you're good. So just relax a little bit. Okay. Good.
As you were talking and just tuning in, my stomach was turning. It doesn't mean there's anything going on with your stomach, but it's just the way the energy was moving. It just felt like things are stirring. Things are stirring. It's almost like that felt like there was a lot of ideas happening and stuff, but where to start, where to go and stuff. But it just feels like a moment. It's almost like a pause.
Okay.
It needs to happen before.
Yes. And a lot of my friends are getting that right now. They're just like, okay, hold on for a second. Breathe, ground, center.
It's almost like a building that not the foundation, but building that energy up. So you're ready for that big movement. It just feels like there's a lot.
Yes. Yeah, there's a big Star Nations weekend that's coming that Maureen and I are doing with Polly Joe. And so it could be some of that too. So excellent. Good.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, Maureen. Rob has a question. He's playing his guitar in the picture there. I would like to know what the guides have to say about me playing with my new band. Just lead guitar players coming through and going, dude, turn it up. All right, so let me get with the guides here quick. I know he'll appreciate that. All right. I'm getting that it feels sort of light. It doesn't feel real heavy. It doesn't feel real intense. It feels at this point like fun, like excitement, like eagerness, like a new relationship, etc. They want you to be a little bit careful because it can get really intense really quick. And they want you to continue to find the joy in it, continue to find the fun of it. Again, we're getting the lines in the brow, and that's funny so they want you to just relax about it and have fun with it and enjoy it. It'll actually work better from the fun, because when you're in the fun, you're connected, you're in alignment with your soul, and you're allowing your energy to flow. So try to keep the fun in it. Don't get really, don't get those lines in your brow lines and flow that way. Are you getting anything?
Just my mind was like spinning with lists and lists and lists and lists. Yeah, I didn't have that concentration, but it was more my mind kept going.
Okay, and I know Rob has a lot of things going on.
It felt like a to-do list, not like not like squirrel. No, it was more like yeah.
Okay. So
many ideas, so many different.
Yes.
Like, wow.
So perfect, excellent, good. All right, let's see. Polly Joe, I would like to hear from the guides about my business in Maine. Excellent, good, yes. And we'll have to go up there and eat lobsters, right? It'll be terrible.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let me tune in. If you start getting something, please join in or chime in first. Are you getting anything?
No, I've seen that place. I can't wait. Yeah.
I have seen it too.
Oh.
Are you getting a timeline?
It just actually feels sooner than later.
Yeah. It feels like things are
moving
quickly, that there's a lot of energy that's going to start moving. Are you in Maine now? I don't know if you're up there now. Interesting. Okay.
Energetically?
Energetically,
really?
She's always up in Maine.
Wow.
But yes. Okay. I'm wondering if she's physically up there in Maine. So that's interesting. It feels pretty quick where that they're happy about you getting this stuff online, although they're I guess it's been a little bumpy, but you're gonna figure it out. It's gonna all flow. So getting this stuff online and there you go, perfect. And being able to flow that energy. And there's still, we've told you this before, and it's coming. There's a wonderful video that we see about you, about your place, about teaching, and we're starting to see some of the images. You've been using some of the images on Facebook, and it's something like that that's going to continue to evolve, but it's going to be more of a video, and that's really going to help spread the word, attract people, get people coming, etc. So we're really liking. What does it feel like? The summer, the end of the summer. So it feels quick. So we're liking where you are, and we're excited for you, and we're also selfishly excited about coming to eat lobster. So that's good. Are you getting anything?
Just what I had said. Yeah.
Perfect. Excellent. Good. And Pauline from across the pond, can I ask the guides what my next step for moving forward? I feel it's time, but I'm not sure what I'm meant to do. Thank you. Okay, so whenever you're not sure what to do, the answer is don't do anything. Okay, because there's two things that are happening when you don't feel like you know what to do. It's one, either the timing is not right, or two, you're not in alignment yet with it. So what we would do is we would get in alignment. And how do you get in alignment? We've talked about this. When you're in your heart, you're in more alignment. So anything that you can do that makes you laugh, that brings you joy, that makes you happy, that connects you with your soul, that puts you in alignment, that allows all your energy to flow, and whatever you're attracting comes easily to you. So we would do anything that we can to sort of relax about this and just get happy. Just be joyful, be happy. And then wait for the aha, so what's been coming up for a lot of people lately is motivation. I have to be motivation. And feel the word motivation, then feel the word inspiration. There's a whole lot of different, motivation is heavy and it's an inspiration. So the inspiration comes when you're connected, when you're joyful, when you're happy, when you're flowing. Don't look for it, but just know it'll pop in and you'll get this, oh, okay, aha. And that's when the energy is lined up. So it's coming. It feels like a couple of weeks off to me.
When you first asked read the question,
yes,
I get this heaviness right here. It almost felt like it was like very planted in the chair. And the more you talk to her, the energy just kept shifting and got lighter and lighter. And there was a little bit of a butterfly excitement. It was really cool.
Okay, good. Like so hopefully Pauline found that too.
Yeah.
Okay, Margaret, what is the message for me? Hold on one second. Margaret is in the middle of the country. She told me the other day, I think she said Indiana, but I'm not positive. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. It might be Wisconsin. But anyway, hold on. Are you taking some downtime for yourself? We're feeling a pretty intense sort of rolling. Not quite the same with the forehead, but we're feeling, and it almost feels treadmill-ish or hamster on the wheel-ish or something to that effect. So I know you're very busy. I know you do a lot of work. Can you take some time just for you? Can you take some quiet time? Can you go for a walk in nature? Can you take a bubble bath? Can you go to the ocean? If you're in the middle of the country, so
water.
Near water. Yeah. Can you get near water somewhere and just sort of relax? There's an answer coming to you that you're going to understand from your guides, from your spiritual team, and it's literally right there. but there's a little bit of a mismatch of it coming in. So if you can just relax just a little bit, get near some water and relax, it's going to pop right in, and you're going to go, oh yeah, okay, I got this. I understand. Is that
when you're first tuning in? I was getting that kind of like squirrel energy. It's like squirrel, so much stuff, and then all of a sudden I saw like a garden. I mean, it's winter, so it's not necessarily a garden, but it's that. Right. But so you were sensing water, but I was also sensing dirt, even just digging into it.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, it might be the ground might be hard where you are, but it's just even playing with soil, replanting a plant in the house. It's just getting to that kind of
right. It'll be more grounding and okay, cool, and it'll come right through. Excellent, good. Yeah. Valerie, okay. I would love to know more about what my guides want me to concentrate more in my business readings or healings. I'm gonna let you take that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to. She's really
yes. Valerie, we love Valerie, and we see her every so often, and she has created some Facebook groups and things like that, and she's spreading the word for all of us far and wide, and we are very thankful for her and for all the work that she does. And having said that, I'm healing.
Yeah.
That's what you're healing.
Yeah. Because you're very gentle and you just you're great with words in the sense of just that sweet inspiration. It just, Yep.
So
it's the healing, but it's in so many different modalities kind of thing, but it's more about even just the gentle touch. You just have that.
Right.
Not just the nurturing, it just feels like it.
Yes. She's a very kind person.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah. I met her that one time, and she really was impressive.
Yes. The other thing that we want to say, Valerie, is we don't want you. That doesn't mean that we want you to stop doing readings, because your readings are also healing, and there is healing in the readings. But more of your call, more of your work is more towards doing healings. But also understand, if someone comes and wants a reading, there is healing in that too. But we're feeling like 60-40 or 70, whatever the math is, 70-30. I'm not a rocket science.
But even part of the session, even that, just her words just have that.
Yes. Perfect. Excellent. Good. It's after 5 o'clock.
Wow.
All right. So Christy, we will see if we can get a message for you. Hold on a second. We love the orbs behind you in the picture there. We can't tell what they are, but that's definitely cool. So we're seeing a lot of orbs. So there's lots of angels around you. You have lots of spirit around you. Are you tapping in? Are you connecting with them? Are you allowing the messages to come to you? Are you allowing the connection? Because, we feel it in your picture, but we also feel it from you. You have a lot of spirit around you. You have a lot of energy around you. You have a lot of guidance around you. And the question is, and the message is, are you allowing it? Are you letting it in? And if you've been listening to what we've been telling other people, it's the same thing. Get out of your head and get into your heart. And in your heart is anything that makes you smile, puts you in your heart, and then you're connected, and then your energy is flowing. So look for anything that makes you feel happy, anything that makes you feel joyful, anything that makes you feel connected, which will get you in your heart. And you will be getting lots of messages and lots of information. We just feel that there's just a little, and we say this with love, we feel there's a little you giving your power away. That you're sort of, looking at what about you, what about you, what about you? And they're saying, what about you? What are you getting? And that's the biggest thing that we're getting.
And it's also too, is it just, you're on that journey of trying to get information, and sometimes it's overwhelming in the beginning, because it's like, this, and finding that niche to start with and just building that, because you have such a strong connection.
Yes.
As a healer, as a messenger, is just,
perfect.
So cool.
Good. Yeah. Oh, and I see Polly Joe up there. It says, I just left, so she was in Maine. I love it. Yeah. Good. Excellent. All right. So it's after 5 o'clock. And I just want to wrap things up. I just want to tell everybody that we do have the Star Nations weekend coming up in the end of April. The four of us, Polly Joe, Maureen, man, myself and Neshi, we're going to do a weekend here, a deep dive into manifestation. And it also includes online classes that go with that. So we will have that information in the post there. That's for you. Pauline says, great show. Margaret says, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for watching. If you live in Massachusetts, you can come to my workshops. You can come see Sandy. Sandy also does healings and workshops. She doesn't know she's going to be doing workshops, but that's coming too. And my website is there. My email is there. Marge has done an amazing job, as she always does. This was our 1-year anniversary of the show. Yay. Yeah. Great job, Marge. We've been doing this for a year. I want to thank Neshi at Star Nations. I want to thank all of you for watching and tuning in. Thank you. I want to thank Sandy for being here. And you heard her. She said she will come back. So we're gonna hold her to that. I will see you next month, where we will have another special guest. It's going to be another really interesting show. I'm excited about that. The guides want you to know that you're worthy. Light and love, guys. See you next month. Take care. Bye.